given shit to before, quite liberally, right? And he's been pissed off by it. Is BBC William Who? I'm not sure that's his name. It had in my head that's his name, right? Something I've given shit to before. Nothing about the shit. Okay, when I say giving shit, people always send me stuff from him, like always. And they say, "Tzvi, what do you think of this?" And if it's something I can take the piss out of, I do, right? He's got fucked off for me. I quite understandably, right? More than once, I believe. But I'm actually going to speak quite favorable of him right now. I think he handled a difficult situation very well, and I would like to commend him. And I think commending him might screw him over, but I'm sorry, it's not my intention. But I think for many reasons he's made the absolute right choice. And boy, was he attacked for it. Thankfully, most people came to his defense, right? So it's talking about the Israel-Palestine, Hamas conflict, and they're saying, "Well, why you and somebody else have huge accounts? Why aren't you talking about this? Are you asking to be pro-Israel?" I don't get that impression. Anyway, the only reason I really not said much is I don't fully understand everything. I have to tell you, as somebody who feels he fully understands everything, I very much appreciate you taking that stance, right? It's so annoying that people who don't fully understand things or just this is other people who are extremely prejudicial. And it just exacerbates the situation absolutely needlessly, especially since, he's a Doctor Who channel, right? And look, whatever you want to say. Look, I really didn't like the Jodie Whittaker era. I've always been very clear. I've been okay with people who did like it. I don't mind if you like it. I don't understand you liking it, right? And it's cool. And I don't feel it's Doctor Who, and I really feel it needs to be retconned away, right? And it's just, I don't hate anybody because of that. I just feel it's so deeply at odds with what Doctor Who is. And not because of her gender. It's funny. Somebody was talking to me about them not enjoying Doctor Who since 2016 because they didn't enjoy Twice Upon a Time because they knew Jodie was coming. And when Jodie came, I was like, thought she'd be great. I really did. I really genuinely did. I thought she'll be good. Right? It's only when she turned out to be beyond awful and then get much worse and then be attacked by weirdos for being a racist when I wasn't, or a sexist, or a pedophile, whatever. It's the craziest shit ever. Right? Especially for like prepubescent, like just, and they were led by this weird guy, Tom Vance, who was this sex pest. Really weird. It was all weird, right? So, battle lines were drawn over the Jodie era, but I don't think it's been overly complimentary to it. But if he liked it, it's fine. I don't mind him liking it. But anyway, the bottom line is this: I don't think you could really question his love of Doctor Who, right? He's basically had a very straight down the line Doctor Who account. I commend him for that, and I know I've given him a lot of shit in the past, right? I really do. But my opinion is whatever happened to Israel was awful, but Israel's sponsors just trying to remove a city from him existing is also awful. I understand why you believe that's happening. If that was happening, I agree with you. I don't think that is happening from having first-hand knowledge. Look, if Israel wanted to just get rid of Gaza, they could do it right away with a bomb. We're nuclear power, right? You understand that? We could just... We could, but we're not. We're really not. Man, I think our plans for Gaza are long-ranging, right? I think we want to turn it into paradise. I think we want to turn it into a Palestinian paradise. That would be our goal, for it to be a Palestinian paradise. It should be like the Riviera. And quite frankly, so should the city of Hebron. Hebron is a shithole. They should invest in that place to make it beautiful, right? And make it into a tourist center for the world. And people could really see the greatness and the hospitality of Arabs, right? That's what Hebron should be. That's what, and then over by Gaza, it should be like Vegas. You've got that gorgeous beach. Oh, hey, they should have hotel after hotel. And again, look, I have to tell you, Arab hospitality is the best in the world. It's like, it's not even close. You know, like when you see like first class travel, like those insane first class travel videos, and then you look at your coach, right, and you see the difference. That's the difference between anybody else's hospitality. I'm telling you, Arab hospitality is out. You can't even imagine. I have people who work with clients in Saudi Arabia. You can't even imagine the hospitality they pay, that they would be embarrassed not to, right? And the world should know that, right? And that's what Hebron should be. You know, I mean, not and Bethlehem. That's what I meant to say. Not Hebron. I was say Hebron, but Bethlehem, right? That's what Bethlehem should be too. Is that like, why not? God's sake, just give up on killing Jews, and you could have all of this. Well, I mean, ultimately, that's what I think they want to do. So honestly, if we wanted to wipe out, we could, right? I don't support any war. Never have, never will. Yeah, I agree with you. I do agree with you. Look, war is an aberration of all morality. So I think this was a very, very, very reasonable post to put out that in no way offends me in any way. I don't think it should offend anyone, right? And I think he's wrong. I want to be clear. I think what he believes is wrong, and it doesn't offend me in any way. And I think it's a very admirable attitude to take. Anyway, not many people thought, well, there's some that didn't think so, right? So this guy comes after him and said, this is what you get for pressuring people who are, to put it bluntly, idiots to speak up on a conflict they have literally zero knowledge on and zero desire to educate themselves on. I don't think, look, I don't see the need for anybody to educate themselves on it, right? I understand why he thinks what he thinks, right? I understand that why he thinks Israel's response is immoral. We haven't broken international law. Like, I also want to say the idea of like cutting off water and electricity. Excuse me, they cut their own water off because they destroyed their water sources so they can make bombs to kill us, and they literally dug up the pipes to do that. Right? We're under no obligation to give them resources. Right? We're under. I'm not allowed to bomb. Let's say they have water pipelines. I'm under obligation not to bomb those. That would be inhuman. I agree with you, but I don't have to bloody feed them. Electricity, they got electric. They got gas for generators, and they could have built their own infrastructure. They used it to build bombs to kill us. I want to tell you, you had it all, right? We're under no obligation to give it. If they had like one power plant and we blew it up, that would be wrong. I agree with you, right? That's collective punishment. That's a siege. We're under no obligation to give them anything. We're at war with them. Remember, because their government attacked us in a most heinous fashion. Remember, it was 3 weeks ago, right? It was literally 3 bloody weeks ago. That was it. You recall? Okay, good. I'm glad you recall. So, but I understand anybody not wanting to like get involved. What? Because everyone is screaming. I'm screaming. They're screaming. Everyone's screaming. Leave them alone, right? A weak centrist. Both sides are in the wrong statement. Now, it just made them look way worse. I disagree with you. And again, I want to be clear. I think he's wrong. And I think that statement made him look way better, right? Genuine, I think it did. I think it was a smart thing. So he said, this is exactly why I wanted to stay out of it, because if I had anything, if I say anything and just say anything, I don't want any one side to get hurt. I get told I'm a horrible person. Dude, genuinely, with somebody with real skin in this game who disagrees with you, you're not a horrible person, right? So much, and me telling you that is bad for you. I get it, and I'm sorry, right? But you're not a horrible person. Like, I think you're being a very, very reasonable person, right? Despite me just not wanting to get in any war or get hurt regardless of the circumstances. That's fair. I don't want to see any kids blown up. I don't want to see anybody hurt. I don't want to see any buildings blown up. It has to happen. What do you want me to tell you? We have to destroy Hamas. It's going to happen, and we're doing it in as surgical way as possible. Like, probably far more not probably, certainly far more surgically than anybody in the Arab world would do. I mean, can we agree on that basic fact? If any other Arab nation had a cell inside them that did what they did, do you think they would respond as surgically as this? And the idea that Israel's carpet bombing Gaza is ridiculous. Indiscriminately bombing. You're a moron. Then why are there so many buildings still there? I understand in areas there's rubble where they blow up buildings. Yes. Right. And also, why are you taking the bloody Hamas's word for anything? 3 weeks ago, they were cutting the heads off babies. Do you think they may fib as well? But anyway, this is why he doesn't want to get fucking involved. I totally get it. Right, I think it's very, very reasonable. Some did not. Some did not. And I would say the ones who did not might not like Jews so much, right? That's how I'll go far. So Ava here says, taking a neutral stance is incredibly harmful when Palestinian civilians are being massacred while Israeli settlers are mocking them. Well, again, am I mocking them being massacred? I'm literally a settler. Right? And you believe everybody is a settler. Why can't we just live together? Like, why is me living in a house an attack on you? Right? Why is me wanting to live peacefully side by side with you an attack? I think that's because you're in the wrong, right? Equally, your belief that Israel is massacring. Excuse me, I don't think so. They are surgically attacking Hamas, who are using children as human shields. That's the fact. What's the civilian casualty rate like? How does it stack up to any other conflict? These are reasonable questions, right? But you're not reasonable because I don't think you like Jews. And supporting their state's ethnic cleansing. Excuse me. If we wanted to cleanse you ethnically, we would nuke you. Because we have nukes. You think we want to get any more shit for that than we're getting for this? Excuse me, we have nukes. If we one bomb, no army, no worry, and the problem's over. And you think the other Arab states won't step in line? Really? They all know what we can do. They all know what we will do. Right? I'm sorry you pushed it to this far. We kept asking you to live in peace. And I know you don't believe that. Okay, basically, here's the history. In 1948, the UN made a partition plan with the two-state solutions. The Jews agreed, the Arabs refused. They went to war, they lost, right? They lost, Jews lost land, they gained land. They told the indigenous Palestinians to run and they'll take care of the Jews. They didn't come back because they thought they'll be massacred by them. There was no ethnic cleansing. At the same time, 900,000 Jews were expelled from all the Arab lands, right? And they were absorbed by Israel, right? So 700,000 left, 900,000 arrived. Again, arrived from the Arab lands where they were expelled from, where they lived for decades, for centuries, for generations, right? Ethnic cleansing. The only ethnic cleansing that happened in Gaza is when they removed the Jews to make peace with them. Fine. So this guy's got a bit of an interesting view. Decolonizepalestine.com is a good place to start if you want to learn the history. Really, again, it looks like you don't like Jews. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. So what does that mean then? You want to ethnically cleanse Israel of Jews? That sounds like... but look, why this person is bullying him to read his evil propaganda, right, is beyond me, right? It's not beyond me. You know why he's doing it? Because they scream most when they have the least point, right? They scream at the absolute most when they have the absolute least point. So that's what he's doing. That's why he's bullying him. So Williams, I mean, I will have a look. But it's really not my aim at all. I'm not wanting to upset anyone. Hence, my general message on the war has to end, and a ceasefire has to be called. Listen, dude. If they give up all the hostages, we can talk about a ceasefire, right? I doubt it. I think more if they give up all the hostages and all their rockets and stop their missile attack and surrender completely, we can talk about ceasefire, right? When they say, yeah, okay, give up the hostages, surrender all the rockets, right, and live in peace with us. How about that? How about that for a plan, right? Then we can have a ceasefire. Nobody wins in the war. I agree with you. Well, actually, although in this case, we're going to win. Nobody wins in a war because ultimately, like, you know, it'd be much better if we all live in peace. But given that they refuse, we're going to win. And I believe that every country depends its independence, its basic rights. Okay, right? But this person won't let it go. You won't be upsetting anyone by uplifting Palestinian voices. Well, what about Jews? Oh, they don't count. They're scum. I like, dude. This person doesn't even realize how insanely biased they are. They're going through hell. We all are, because you forced a war on us, right? And again, it's not because you lived in 75 years of occupation. We tried to live with you. You refused, right? And you kept refusing because you hate Jews. It's not 75 years of occupation. It's 75 years of Jew hatred. You just didn't want to live with Jews. That's it. That's all it is. Let's not dress up as anything else. It's just you don't want to live with Jews, and you still don't want to. And your hatred of Jews is palpable from October 7th, right? And it's not least anyone could do. And also, it's important to note that this isn't even a war. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. We are at war with the government of Gaza. That's correct. But if they surrender, ceasefire, baby. Give up the hostages, surrender, right? And we just want to live in peace, right? I want to reiterate that. We just want to live in peace. But obviously, to live in peace, we have to destroy Hamas completely, because they refuse to live in peace, as we saw on October 7th. Palestine has no army. It has a 30,000 armed force in Hamas. It does. They have no way of defending themselves. They could just surrender then. Then why start a war, and why not just surrender? That's the way to defend themselves. Just surrender. Even Hamas isn't just a militant group. Yeah, they cut the heads of babies, darling. Israel is a military state. I mean, we all have to do national service because you cunts want to kill us. And we have to find a way of stopping you cunts killing us. Right? What does never again mean to you, darling? It means we're not going to let you murder us. Now, we don't want to kill you, but we're not going to let you murder us. And if the only way to stop you murdering us is killing you, we're going to have to kill you. That's what's going to happen. That's one of the strongest militaries in the world, because they're surrounded by strong militaries that want to kill us. It's genocidal. No, it's genocidal for Hamas, right? We are going to destroy Hamas completely, right? That's all it can be called. No, again, we wanted to destroy you completely. We could nuke you in a blink of an eye. So your take is, fine. It just goes on bollocks, right? Again, this other guy, it's like, Israel's bad. Israel's been an offensive posture by international law. We haven't broken international law. Also, there's no equivalent between the strongest army and groups of militias. So don't start a war with them. Again, if that's the case, don't start a war with us. How complicated is that? To Paulie, who's saying, again, you see him being bullied, right? Like, yes, it's not supposed to be a stance because I think that's what's happened in both countries is wrong. I'm just saying any innocent lives are lost are wrong. I agree. Actually, again, that's something I can agree with you on. In terms of politics, sounds like both Hamas and Israel government is evil, breaking international law. I understand why it sounds like that, right? I've already had what happened in Gaza is wrong. Like he's being harassed and harassed and harassed. Right. Finally, some people came to rally around him. Very good. Again, it's a Doctor Who account, right? Is it hard to say something these days? It's hard to say something some days without people taking out context. It's a minefield. Why would he want to get into it? Like, why would any sane person want to get into it? Right? Genuinely. Most people commenting issue just don't have a grasp of the history or inaccuracies intricacies led to us to realize that you're not wanting to inadvertently hurt people or pour petrol on flames is a sign of wisdom. I agree with this guy completely. You doing who? I couldn't agree more, right? And it goes on and on and on, right? But yeah, listen, I guess even Toxic Fandom gets split. I guess that's how, that's how it goes down, baby. My name's Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.